Yes, the ECOG study looking at the role of lenalidomide as a single agent in the treatment of intermediate to high-risk smoldering myeloma was presented by my colleague, Dr. Saga Loniol, who led the trial. This was a intergroup study led by ECOG, also involving SWOG and the Alliance. And what we sought to show here was that lenalidomide used as a single agent in patients with intermediate to high-risk smoldering myeloma would enjoy clinical benefit from its proactive or preemptive use. And I think what Saga showed very nicely was a striking PFS advantage. The data are rather immature for overall survival advantage, and there is none apparent right now. And I think what Saga showed, which was so important, was that in the high-risk population, there's clearly benefit. In the intermediate and low-risk smoldering population, the clinical benefit was far less clear. In fact, it wasn't apparent. I think the other point that emerged during the discussion of Saga's presentation was that up to 50% of the patients discontinued their lenalidomide over the course of the study because typically of toxicity. So I think we have to be aware of the fact that when we move into the smoldering space, we need to be using for our patients very well tolerated approaches. Having said that, lenalidomide generally was very well tolerated, and clearly in this high-risk group of patients, the original observations from the Spanish group, where they showed striking clinical benefit in a high-risk group, Saga's study clearly validates that and shows clinical benefit. My own impression of the smoldering space is that we need more studies to really know how best to use our currently available drugs in this space. There's lots of exciting work with monoclonal antibodies, there's lots of exciting work with immune strategies in this space, and I think that all of those show great promise as well in the area of high-risk disease. Low risk to intermediate risk, again, if you've got a side effect-free approach, that's obviously exciting. But if you've got a minimal evidence of clinical benefit, that's an area where observation remains a gold standard.